Meeting called to order. The time is 7:04. Public portion of the meeting begins. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the rights of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed and or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Business Administrator Board Secretary has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, communicated to the Herald News, the Record, and filed with the clerk of the Borough of Hawthorne. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carr? Mr. Clavijo?
Here.
Ms. Ehrentraut?
Here.
Dr. Morell? Mr. Palouse?
Here.
Mr. Reicher?
Here.
Mr. Shortway?
Here.
Mr. Totaro?
Here.
Mrs. Goff?
Here. Please join me for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Meeting regulations. During each regular meeting, 2 opportunities are provided for citizens to ask questions and to make comments. During the first opportunity, early on the agenda, the meeting is open to the public for the purpose of addressing items listed for approval on this agenda only. The second opportunity occurs just prior to adjournment, when citizens may address any subject matter that is pertinent to and or directly related to the operation of the school district. Persons wishing to speak must, upon being recognized, rise, state their name, address, and subject matter. Comments and questions shall be addressed to the board president or presiding officer and shall be limited to 5 minutes per person. The board may or may not respond to issues raised by members of the public at any time as they are raised, but will provide a response if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Please note that the board will not respond to comments regarding students or board employees in light of the privacy rights held by those individuals. Moreover, the board discourages comments about such individuals and will not be responsible for such comments. Members of the public who choose to speak during this session should carefully consider their comments, since they could be held personally liable for any comments they make. Finally, please note that in accordance with district policy, the board will not officially comment or respond to any matter mentioned unless it can confirm the matter has first been brought to the attention of the appropriate school personnel in an attempt to resolve the issue. Public be heard, agenda items only. Seeing as no one has come up to speak, approval of the minutes, April 12th and April 26th.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Clavijo, second by Mr. Totaro. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Ms. Ehrentraut?
Yes.
Mr. Palouse?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Mr. Shortway?
Yes.
Mr. Totaro?
Yes.
Mrs. Goff?
Yes. Correspondence. Seeing as there's nothing, reports. Student Council Representative Report, Angela.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Outstanding job to the Hawthorne High School Drama Department's cast and crew for bringing High School Musical to the stage. The 5th graders were able to see the show on Wednesday, and senior citizens enjoyed a private viewing on Wednesday, and the community came out to support the shows on Thursday through Sunday. In celebration of May 1st being National College Decision Day, our seniors and staff wore college apparel to school on May 2nd. Congratulations to our seniors who have made their post-high school decisions. Next Thursday, May 19th, is the art show. Come to the high school courtyard to support our artists and their showcase work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Our spring sports teams are on a roll. Softball is now 13-5, that's why I was late, sorry, after some big wins the past few weeks, including a nail-biter 2-1 win in extra innings against a tough Pompton Lakes team. Emily Backer was voted North Jersey Softball Player of the Week for April 17th to 23rd for going 6 and 11 at the plate with 9 RBIs and a pair of doubles. Congrats, Emily. Carly Steer was just nominated for having the Bears an out away from upsetting top seed Clifton in the Passaic County Tournament, then following up with a 4-hitter in 8 innings over Pompton Lakes, a complete game victory against Garfield, and hitting the 500 strikeout milestone in just 11 games as a freshman. She also threw a no-hitter in yesterday's 15-0 senior day victory against Manchester. Voting is open until 6 p.m. on Thursday, so please vote for Carly Steer on NorthJersey.com. Baseball is now 13-4, also winning today, including a big no-hitter thrown by junior pitcher Joe Fry in a 13-0 win against Lodi. The boys have won 4 straight and 10 of its last 12. They ended Garfield's undefeated streak against NJIC Colonial Division opponents. Yesterday, they secured a 15-6 senior day win against Manchester. Boys lacrosse has 7 wins, including an 11-5 victory over Waldeck yesterday on senior day as well. Congratulations to our lady golfers who competed at the PCCA Championship. Meadow Sicarella placed 2nd and Becca Gehring placed 6th. Congratulations to the girls track team on winning the Twin Borough Relays held at Ramsey High School and their victory at the NJIC Championship. The girls are now back-to-back league champions. With only 11 girls at the meet with 16 events, the girls won by 60 points over second place Pompton. There were many highlights, including Bree Andrioli, who set a new school record in the javelin throwing 135 feet. Ruby Conroy won the 1600 and the 800. Sabrina DiFilippo scored big points in the 100, 200, and 400. Also scoring in multiple events were Gabby Del Val, Leah Alves, and Ella Sachs. Great job by the girls' track team. Congratulations to the boys' track and field team for a second-place finish at the NJIC Championship. There were many great performances and PRs that led to the overall success the team had. Some highlights include Michael Palmer, who won gold in 4 events: high jump, long jump, triple jump, and the 110 high hurdles. Jason Harmer won the 800 meter and the 1600 meter and a second-place finish in the 3200 meter. Luca LaMonica took 4th in the 400 meter hurdles and was part of the 4x400 meter team that took 3rd. Max Boba took a 4th in the long jump, and Alex Castillo took a 6th in the triple jump. Daniel Sokolsky, Neo Bernab, and John Kimberlin placed in the shot and discus. Girls flag football has won their first 4 games of their first ever season. They appreciated everyone coming out to their first home game against New Milford, where they scored 39 points. Keep up the good work and finish off your spring season strong. Spring Sports Awards are June 6th at 7 p.m. The High School Library Media Center will highlight 3 important national events this month: Jewish American Heritage Month, Asian Pacific Islander American Heritage Month, and Mental Health Awareness Month. For each theme, the library offers faculty instructional materials and resources and engages students with library book displays and bulletin boards, informational materials, daily morning announcements, posted flyers, social media postings, and relevant books. Continuing the library's efforts to strengthen community outreach, this month the library partnered with the Hawthorne Shade Tree Commission to bring the film The Call of the Forest to our students. This film, which is showing at the public library this month, is a call for massive global reforestation to reverse climate change. Earth Day's displays in the library call attention to this movement, and through our science department, students are offered free tickets to the film showing at the public library on Saturday, May 14th at 2 o'clock. After this final showing, the Shade Tree Commission will donate a copy of the DVD to Hawthorne High School, giving our teachers and students access to the film to further explore this important information in the classroom. That's all I have to report for May.
Thank you, Angela. Superintendent's report, Mr. Sprito.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's so great to see so many people here tonight. I'm going to apologize in advance because I have a lot to say tonight, so please bear with me. But I just want to start just echoing some of the comments that Angela made in regards to a few things. Number one, our spring production here at Hawthorne High School and our drama performance at Lincoln Middle School over the past couple of weeks. The students did an outstanding job. I had the privilege of attending both performances. I am so impressed by our students and how talented they are, and I give them a ton of credit for getting up there and doing what they do. I know it takes a lot of time and energy to practice as long as they do to prepare for these performances, but I thought they did a wonderful job in both, and I just want to congratulate our high school students and middle school students who participated. Angela also mentioned some of the events that have already taken place, and we have a lot of exciting events still to come. Just to name a few, Our Lincoln Middle School Spring Concert and Art Show is coming up on May 16th. Our Gold Tassel Dinner for the National Honor Society. On May 17th, we have our open house events coming up at Jefferson and Roosevelt School. Our art show here at the high school. Our spring concert here at the high school. And you can see there's actually some instruments around us because they were practicing. The jazz band was practicing prior to us coming in here tonight. So we're sharing the space. But again, a lot of exciting events coming up. I just encourage everyone to visit our website, take a look at the calendar so that you can come out and support all of these exciting events at the end of our school year. The other thing, I just want to congratulate all of our seniors who've committed to colleges for next year. You know, again, a stressful time for our seniors, having had two children, my two daughters, having gone through that process. I know it's a stressful process, you know, again, I congratulate all of our students for their decisions. And if you're interested in taking a look at where some of our students will be attending in the fall, there is a a Bears Decision Instagram page. So if you're on Instagram, take a look. It has pictures and you know, it identifies all of the schools that our students will be attending in the fall. So congratulations to all of our seniors who've committed. The other thing I just want to mention quickly before we move on to our presentations is our spring sports. You know, we're having a heck of a spring season. Not just our softball team, as Angela mentioned, our baseball team, our lacrosse, our boys and girls track teams, golf, and of course, our new sport this year, our girls flag football team. If you're interested in coming out and seeing any of our teams, again, the schedules are on our website. I know that the baseball, softball, those teams are kind of coming to an end with their regular seasons. We do still have 3 home flag football games in the coming weeks. So if you're interested in taking a look, you know, coming out and seeing our new flag football team, I encourage you to do so. But I just want to congratulate all of our teams on a great spring season. Still some games to play, but we're excited about all of their success so far. Okay, with that said, I'd like to now transition to, we have a number of presentations to make tonight. And we're going to start tonight, we have a special presentation by the Executive Director of the New Jersey Council for the Social Studies. Mr. Hank Bitton is here with us tonight, along with Mr. Corvo, and I'm going to turn it over to them for a presentation to one of our high school students.
Okay, well, thank you. Before I begin, though, Angela, from an outsider's point of view, that was a fantastic report that you gave about Hawthorne High School and the entire public school system. So I'd like to ask Paul Doerr, please come forward here. The New Jersey Council for the Social Studies is located at Rutgers University. We have about 1,300 members, teachers, supervisors. Mr. Corvo is a member, some other teachers at Hawthorne, and Dr. Chopra, your supervisor as well. We basically do 3 things. You know, we provide professional development workshops for teachers. We provide programs, academic and recognition awards for students. And we advocate with the Department of Ed in Trenton for curriculum changes. Our 2 most recent ones were civics in the middle school requirement taking place in September, and New Jersey is the first state to teach climate education solutions in the country. But on to Paul. We recognize students in the 7 counties of northern New Jersey, high school students, 7 central, and the 7 southern. Obviously, Paul, northern New Jersey is the most competitive. So Paul was selected from about 31 students whose teachers nominated them in the high school area. Now you might think that it's just because of AP and grades. Not really. Every student nominated had just fantastic, you know, grades and GPA. There's a committee of about 5 from around the state, and what Paul stood out for is, one, Paul, you kind of really understand the big picture of American history, okay? You know, understand our accomplishments, foundational principles of democracy, and also that when you study history, there's some, you know, darker periods where we struggle and we have to figure things out. Mr. Corvo says, Paul asks questions continually, and that's what history education is all about. Well, we don't always have the answers, but we have to ask the questions. Paul also engages his class, and I understand senior citizens was in the report, in the conversation of history. We have to talk. We have a competitive democracy. We don't agree, we all know that, but history students, we figure out how we have agreed in the past and what we have to do to make it work. And it happens at the local level, the state level, and the national level. In addition, Paul also understands historical perspectives. I understand he wrote 3 historical, fiction novels to kind of understand the perspective of what's taking place in history. And so, Paul, all these things that you have done, you obviously did a lot to make it happen, but you're part of a strong curriculum. The K-12 teachers that you have had, whether you've been in Hawthorne or other schools, have obviously made a difference in your life, and a very positive one. So we want to congratulate you with this over here. First, go ahead. We have this very nice, a plaque. He's recognized as first place high school student in northern New Jersey. There's a middle school student from Dumont, the Hana School, who also got an award for middle school, and a student from Ramapo College this year for the high school in this geographic area. And, okay, well, there's a letter that I wrote for you. Okay, it's got my signature on it over there. Your teacher got one, Mr. Spirito, and so that's very nice that they framed it. I just sent it in a little envelope. And then Paul also gets a certificate from the council. So again, congratulations for a job well done, making a difference, really having a passion for history, and sharing that with the community. So congratulations. Thank you, Ms. Burrow, for nominating him. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known.
Love the book now. Yeah, you can get all 4 of my books on Amazon.
So Paul, congratulations again. I know we've talked before, and Mr. Bitton, I appreciate you being here and taking the time to come in and personally recognize Paul for his accomplishment. And Mr. Corvo, of course, thank you, and keep up the good work here at Hawthorne High School. So, with that said, we're going to move on to recognizing some of our teachers here in Hawthorne throughout our district. So, I'll ask you to help me if you don't mind.
Sure.
One at a time. And Ms. Farkas, if you could join us as well. We're good. Angela's going to help me. Thank you. I'm going to come around. Yeah, come on. So, I just want to, first of all, start by saying, again, it's wonderful to see so many of you here. I'm so glad that you came here to join in this celebration of our many outstanding educators here in Hawthorne. And Mr. Bitton just commented about how teachers in Paul's life had made a difference. Well, all of these people that I'm going to talk about tonight have obviously made a difference in the lives of the students throughout our district. And that's why they're here tonight, and that's why we're recognizing them. Obviously, over the last 2 years have been very challenging with COVID, but all of these people that we're going to talk about, the 7 people that we're going to talk about tonight, have worked extremely hard and, again, have made a difference in the lives of the students in their buildings. All right, so with that said, I want to start, and I'm going to read a few words from the principals who shared some sentiments with me about the people that we're recognizing tonight. So I'm going to read a few words, and then I'll allow Ms. Farkas to share a few words as well. So I'm going to start with Mrs. Kim Kreka, and Mr. Drosky shared about Mrs. Kreka. He says, for several years, Mrs. Kreka has been a valuable member of our special education preschool program. She has worked tirelessly to find creative and effective solutions for her students and the overall program. The students in Kim's classroom have significant needs requiring one-to-one attention at all times. Kim finds ways to engage them and achieve growth based on their specific goals. She works with staff members that come to her classroom and find ways for them to be part of the team. Finally, Kim comes to the school with a positive mindset, rolling up her sleeves and doing whatever needs to be done to help our students learn and grow. I honestly don't know how our program would function without the guile and grit of teachers like Kim Krecker. It is a true honor to watch a skilled and dedicated educator like her work magic with our students. Congratulations on this special recognition, Mrs. Kim Krecker.
As Mr. Sperito said, I am here representing the Hawthorne Teacher Association. We're of course so proud of all of the award winners that are coming up here tonight. We know your tireless efforts every day, every month, through the years. In one way or another, I might know you or I've worked with you in some capacity through my years, so it's always an honor to be here to represent our association. And we're especially proud of you all tonight to be recognized here, so thank you.
Thank you. So what we're going to be presenting, and Kim, if you join us, please. What we're going to be presenting all of our recipients with is a certificate from the Board of Education, something from the Hawthorne Teachers Association, as well as a certificate from the County Office of Education and Mrs. Keisha Drakeford, our Executive County Superintendent. So Kim, congratulations.
Thank you.
Great job. Oh, all right, don't go anywhere, we're going to take a picture. Sorry. Yes,
I'll let her go in here.
Thank you.
I have an assistant today, the first time in, I think, 8 years I've been here. This is great. Okay. Okay, our next recipient is a special education teacher from Roosevelt School, Miss Erica Len. So just a few words from Mr. Pizakane, the principal at Roosevelt School. Mr. Pizakane says, I've had the pleasure and honor of working alongside Miss Len for the past 10 years. As a special education teacher, Miss Len has shown time and again several distinguishable qualities. She's supremely dedicated to reaching her students daily. This level of commitment, made more challenging by the unique needs of her students, is combined with a highly positive personality. Her lessons are energetic, engaging, and always differentiated in ways to best meet the individual needs of her students. Ms. Len is constantly seeking out ways to improve, and as a result has become a resource for her colleagues when seeking out new and effective methods of instruction. Ms. Len is one of the first staff members of our school to integrate multisensory lessons daily. Her willingness to allow students to participate in such a way while giving them the freedom to choose their course of action transformed the special education programs at our school in a thoroughly positive and effective manner. These are just some of Mrs. Len's many traits that make her an excellent teacher. From our perspective, she is definitely deserving of this recognition. Congratulations, Mrs. Len. So, Mrs. Len, if you could join us, please. Congratulations. So this is your certificate from the board. This is from Mrs. Drakeford, our Executive County Superintendent, and from the HTA. Congratulations. We're going to take a group picture. Oh, you want to take a picture? Huh? Okay. We're going to take a group picture at the end, by the way, so don't worry. You'll have plenty of opportunities to take pictures. Okay, so our next recipient is our first grade teacher at Washington School, Mrs. Sarah O'Hara. So a few words about Mrs. O'Hara. So Mrs. O'Hara has been a Washington Wildcat for 17 years and is proud of it. Mrs. O'Hara's enthusiasm and energy are delightful to watch. She makes learning fun for all of her students. Frequently, you can hear Mrs. O'Hara singing teacher-made jingles with the students as a strategy to retain a concept. In addition, she has a passion for children's literature and displays books all around her classroom. Mrs. O'Hara cares about the well-being and success of her students. The students embrace her teaching practices and eagerly participate in her class lessons. Mrs. O'Hara creates a positive learning environment and rapport with students through her commitment, love of learning, and sense of humor and respectful nature. She is top-notch in preparation and organizational skills. Mrs. O'Hara willingly collaborates with colleagues and has an excellent working relationship with her grade-level partner. We are fortunate to have Mrs. O'Hara at Washington School. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor, Mrs. Sarah. Congratulations. So this is your Board of Ed. This is from the County Superintendent, and of course, the HTA.
Congratulations. Of course.
Mrs. Bell, go ahead.
Thank you. My third partner.
Congrats. Congrats.
I appreciate it.
Great. Okay, on to middle school. So this year, not only do we recognize teachers in our district, but we recognize something called our educational services professionals. So this year, as well as having a teacher from each building, we recognize 2 of our district guidance counselors. And the first one is Mrs. Jennifer Basilone from Lincoln Middle School. So I want to share a few words from Ms. A few words from Ms. Weigert, who shared a few words about Ms. Basilone. It says, Mrs. Basilone has worked within the Hawthorne School Counseling Department for 16 years. Until recently, Ms. Basilone was the sole school guidance counselor at Lincoln Middle School, serving close to 600 students. As a middle school counselor, Ms. Basilone wears many hats. She assists students academically and socially emotionally. She also assists students with their transition to Hawthorne High School and serves as the anti-bullying coordinator. Mrs. Basilone's unwavering dedication and commitment to the social emotional needs of the students at Lincoln Middle School have been felt by many. Her passion for counseling and strong community connections connect students and families to valuable resources and have consistently supported students and teachers throughout this unprecedented time in education. Mrs. Basilone can often be observed teaching students new and innovative coping skills and strategies. Mrs. Basilone's goal is always to help students regulate their emotions so they can be their best academic and social emotional self. Mrs. Basilone's work transcends beyond Lincoln Middle School and can often still be felt once students arrive at Hawthorne High School. Congratulations. This is from the board, this is from the Dr. Superintendent, and of course the VHT. Quick picture. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, our next recipient is one of our science teachers at Lincoln Middle School, Mr. Tyler Tenkate. Okay, I'll just share a few words from Mrs. Dever, our Lincoln Middle School principal. It says, Mr. Tenkate is an energetic and passionate teacher who creates engaging lessons for his students. He is knowledgeable in his content area, which is evident immediately upon entering his classroom. Mr. Tenkate also works hard to make science fun by regularly implementing hands-on science activities. Mr. Tenkate has also formed positive relationships with his students, which is evident by the mutual respect shown by the students in his class. Mr. Tenkate contributes beyond the confines of his classroom as he serves as our student council advisor at Lincoln Middle School, and it is clear that Mr. Tenkate enjoys working with students to improve the school community and to conduct community service projects. Lincoln Middle School is proud to have Mr. Tenkate as part of the staff and honored to recognize him as the Lincoln Middle School Governor Educator of the Year. Congratulations, Mr. Tyler Tenker. That's awesome. Great stuff. So this is from the board. This is the county superintendent certificate.
Congratulations. You're welcome. Congratulations.
Congrats. Okay. Thank you, Angela. I'm going to owe you something for this. I'll buy you lunch or something. Okay. All right, on to Hawthorne High School. So again, at Hawthorne High School, we have not only a teacher that we're recognizing at Hawthorne High School, but one of our guidance counselors at Hawthorne High School. And in this case, it is Mrs. Christine Zach, our guidance counselor. He's one of them. So again, I'll share a few words from Ms. Weger in regard to Mrs. Zach. So it says, Mrs. Zach has been guiding students towards success at Hawthorne High School for 6 years. As a school counselor at Hawthorne High School, Mrs. Zach helps her students navigate their teenage years academically, socially, and emotionally. She works tirelessly to ensure that every one of her students has a post-secondary plan upon graduation. And I can attest to that because she's helped my children as well. Over the past few years, Mrs. Zach has worked hard to ensure that students pursuing alternative routes, such as trade schools, feel supported, learn about all the opportunities available to them, and connect to programs. In addition to Mrs. Zach's counseling responsibilities, she facilitates Hawthorne High School's annual local scholarship program, which is for our seniors that we run each year. Her hard work and dedication to this outstanding program award over $100,000 annually to Hawthorne seniors at the end of the school year. Mrs. Zach always makes time to work with the next generation of counselors, training school counseling interns that attend local universities. Those who know Mrs. Zach would describe her as easy to talk to, a fierce advocate for her students, and a team player, all qualities that make a great school counselor. Congratulations, Mrs. Zach. We'll get it. Okay. And our final recipient, she's sweating over there. Okay. I know she hates this, but anyway, our final recipient is one of our art teachers here at Hawthorne High School. This is Danielle Russo. Okay, so Mrs. Russo is one of those teachers who is the backbone of the school. She is an outstanding art educator, student council advisor, and student activities coordinator. As you can see, she wears many hats in the high school. These roles allow Ms. Russo to connect to students of all grade levels and varying academic levels. Ms. Russo's classroom is a safe place in Hawthorne High School for any student to chat or find an adult who will listen and be there for them. However, Ms. Russo epitomizes students' learning opportunities and continues to challenge students in her classroom. Ms. Russo, as we mentioned, is very active in our school and has developed an art program that has expanded by the levels of instruction and the breadth of media the students are exposed to. She has developed an art club where students create murals throughout the building to exhibit student work and create an appreciation for art throughout our hallways. She has a knack for developing students' appreciation and passion for art. Ms. Russo is also a role model for her peers. She has created a dynamic learning environment where students monitor one another and yearn to learn. Throughout these past 2 years of remote and hybrid learning, Ms. Russo created art packages for students to take home so they would be able to continue to develop their art skills even while working remotely. She differentiated projects based on student skill levels and their ability to work remotely. Ms. Russo was extremely active with our student body outside of the classroom. She worked tirelessly last year to develop opportunities for students to have some normal school activities, knowing that their social emotional development was being hindered by not being able to attend school regularly. Our students at Hawthorne High School are fortunate to have teachers like Ms. Russo who care for them as people, not just students. So please join me in congratulating and standing up. All right, congratulations. Good? All right. So again, I just want to, and I can't say enough about the people that we recognize tonight. Obviously, we have so many wonderful teachers here in Hawthorne, but you know, the people who are recognized tonight are all well-deserving. As I said, a few of them, my children were fortunate to have a few of them, but even those my children didn't have, I could tell you, all I hear are amazing things about all of you. So thank you for all the work that you do every day. You do make a difference, I promise you, and we appreciate you. Again, congratulations on being honored tonight. So at this time, I'm going to ask all of you to come back up here so we can take some pictures, and we'll give them one big round of applause. Come on back up here. Oh, you're not going to bring your stuff? Oh. Bring your, you don't have to bring all of it. Just bring your, the framed certificate, please. Bring the framed certificate, please. Bring that back up with you. You don't need to bring all of it. Yeah, just slide to your right. Slide down
Can we do one where you jump off the stage together? An action shot?
Good?
Good? We did it? Got it?
We're going to take a 5-minute recess. 5-minute recess we're going to take.
I was walking away.
Thank you, Mr. Cerrito. Curriculum and instruction, Mr. Reicher.
Thank you, Madam President. Pursuant to the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Committee on Curriculum and Instruction recommends the following resolutions. CI1 on page 3. CI2 through CI8 on page 4. And CI9 through CI10 on page 5. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Seconded by, was it Mr. Shortway? By Mr. Shortway. Any discussion?
I got a question.
Yes.
On the, actually, this is more of a comment, the high school chamber and concert choirs, that's the first time they're doing that, right? The Passaic County Community College?
I believe so. I'm not aware that they've done it in the past.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
During CI3, is that required, just for our own understanding, is that required for all staff members, or is that unique to certain individuals that require the PD?
Well, so we're approving 15 participants for now. This resolution is only for 15 staff members currently. There may be others down the road, but for now it's just 15.
Understood.
Is Brain Spring an app? I don't think I've...
Yeah, I believe that's one of our new programs that we're going to be
Okay.
using.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Ms. Erentraut?
Yes.
Mr. Paluce?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Mr. Shortway?
Yes.
Mr. Totaro?
Yes.
Mrs. Goff?
Yes. Personnel, Ms. Ehrentraut.
Thank you, President. The following resolutions are pursuant to the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools. P1 through P5 on page 5, P6 through P17 on page 6, P18 through P21 on page 7, and P22 through P27 on page 8. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Second by Mr. Clavijo. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Erentraut?
Yes?
Mr. Paluce?
Abstain on P 10, 11, and 12, yes to everything else.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Mr. Shortway?
Yes.
Mr. Totaro?
Yes.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Mrs. Goff?
Yes. Finance and Administration, Mr. Clavijo.
Thank you, Madam President. Donations, we have A, the acceptance of a donation of 110,000 popsicle sticks valued at approximately $5,500 from Armor Products of Hawthorne for use by the art and STEM classes at Lincoln Middle School. We also have an acceptance of the donation for Passaic County Community College valued at $25,818.55 of classroom improvements to the high school STEM lab, including 75-inch Bravia 4K Ultra HD HDR professional displays, PTZ cameras, TLC Pro Touch panel system, and Air Media presentation system. Additionally, acceptance of the Passaic County Community College donation valued at $10,000 toward equipment including Galaxy tablets, graphing calculators, Boss laser, and Dremel 3D printer. The Board of Education expresses its sincere gratitude for these generous donations. Action items. Pursuant to the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Committee on Finance and Administration recommends the following resolutions. F1 through F7 on page 9, F8, F9, page 10, also A1 through A9 on the same page, and on page 11, A10 through A15. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Paluce. Any discussion?
If I could just
Sure.
comment on the donations. I just want to thank Mrs. Graziano, who coordinated all the work with Passaic County Community College to really put together this package of donations. And, you know, it's really going to benefit our students going forward. I'll also mention that we've been advertising on May 16th there's something called Pizza and PCCC. There's an information session that's going to take place here at Hawthorne High School, and in regard to not only these donations, but some courses that will be offered in the fall, free of charge through Passaic County Community College. So again, I want to thank Mrs. Graziano for her efforts. She really worked hard with Dr. Gordon at PCCC to put this together. So appreciate all the time she put into this and look forward to the benefits that our students will gain from it.
Thank you, Mr. Spirito. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Palouse?
Yes.
Mr. Raisher?
Yes.
Mr. Shortway?
Yes.
Mr. Totaro?
Yes.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Ms. Erentraut?
Yes.
Mrs. Goff?
Yes. Claims, Mr. Raisher.
Thank you, Madam President. In accordance with NJAC 68:23-2:11B, C3, and C4, I did take a look at all the bills. It's recommended all the bills be approved, CL1. And as a technology person, I do appreciate that they're electronic, and I really don't miss the blue bucket coming to my house anymore. So thank you for making them electronic. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Totaro.
Yes.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Palouse?
Yes.
Mr. Raisher?
Yes.
Mr. Shortway?
Yes.
Mr. Totaro?
Yes.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Ms. Erentraut?
Yes.
Mrs. Goff?
Yes. Buildings and grounds, in Mr. Carr's absence, Mr. Totaro, would you be okay with moving these items?
Sure. Thank you, Madam President. Pursuant to the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Committee of Buildings and Grounds recommends the following resolutions. On page 12, BG1 through BG2, on behalf of the committee, I so moved.
Second?
Second by Ms. Erentraut. Any discussion?
Got a question. As far as school lunches, there's pricing listed out there. This year they were free still, right? But the following year they're no longer going to be free?
That's correct. They've been free for 2 years now.
Yes.
But next year they will not be. That's not being extended into next year.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Raisher?
Yes.
Mr. Shortway?
Yes.
Mr. Totaro?
Yes.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Ms. Erentraut?
Yes.
Mr. Palouse?
Yes.
Mrs. Goff?
Yes. Okay, policy in light of Dr. Morell's absence. I will just move this item, PO1 on page 12. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Shortway. Any discussion?
I'll do under the policy
Okay,
before, if that's okay.
sure. Roll call, please.
Mr. Shortway?
Yes.
Mr. Totaro?
Yes.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Ms. Erentraut?
Yes.
Mr. Palouse?
Yes.
Mr. Raisher?
Yes.
Mrs. Goff?
Yes. Committee and liaison reports. Mr. Carr is not here. Mr. Totaro, I'm sure you don't have a copy. Do you have a copy
I
of the
do
book?
actually.
Look, just pulled him right out of his hat. Look at that.
Man's
Mr.
prepared.
All
Totaro.
right. Thank you, Madam President and Mr. Spirito. In regards to Building and Grounds Committee, item for discussion, there was drainage repairs. The committee discussed drainage issues that need to be addressed at Jefferson School prior to paving any of the parking lots. We're looking into these drainage concerns and we'll share updates with the board. Also, in regards to Washington Elementary roof, the construction manager identified installation issues with the shingle roof over the gym at the Washington School. We are currently working with the installer to have the roof redone. This is anticipated to take place at the end of the school year. The entire shingle roof will be removed and replaced in kind. And lastly, in regards to facility needs, Mr. Higgins and Ms. Ambrose conducted a district-wide facility walkthrough during the spring recess to identify facility needs and begun revising the long-range facilities plan. Mr. Higgins will continue to work together with Mr. Spirito and Ms. Ambrose to identify the most pressing needs and share any plans to move forward with the repairs with the Building and Grounds Committee. And that concludes the Building and Grounds Committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Totaro. See, also to play with
I
legislative.
do not have anything on legislative.
That would have been magical, had.
However, I do have council liaison report.
Oh, okay. Go right ahead.
All right, so, as per my review of the council meeting from April 20th, 2022, the following was shared by Mayor Lane in administrative report relative to Hawthorne School District. The mayor mentioned that the WAG 1, 2, 3, and 4 fields are set to play and ready to be utilized and only have minor site work needed to be finished up. He also went on to mention Hawthorne Day is scheduled on September 24th, and more information will be posted on the borough's website. Other than that, this concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Shutara.
My pleasure.
Mr. Clavijo, Finance and Administration.
Thank you, Madam President. The Finance Committee met on Tuesday. There was overlap with what Mr. Cotero reported on buildings and grounds, the Washington school roof, the facility needs. It makes sense that they're being analyzed, and as to prioritize and make the best use of our funds. The other item that was discussed was the capital and maintenance reserve preliminary planning. At this time of the year, our business administrator starts crunching numbers and starts tabulating what's been used and what hasn't. And as the year comes to an end, she will let us know how much those balances are, and she'll make recommendations as to how to best utilize them. That concludes the report.
Thank you, Mr. Clavijo. Ms. Erin Trout, Passaic County School Boards Association.
Thank you, President. Fellow board member, Mr. Totaro, attended the meeting on May 2nd as well. Basically, there were conversations to discuss opportunities for non-college learners who can't get into vocational schools. There was discussion of the possibility of Passaic County schools working together on vocational programs. There will definitely be more discussions about this with the county schools in the future. It just basically opened the door of conversation, and to clarify, it's not anything anti-PCTI, but really brainstorming for individual districts on how to strengthen our own programs and opportunities. Also, Dr. Alma Morel was recognized for becoming a certified board member. And that's all.
Very exciting. Thank you, Ms. Erin Trout. For New Jersey School Boards Association, just want to remind everybody that if you are in your first, second, third, fourth, or first year of any subsequent term, you have a duty to fulfill your training obligation. That can be found on the NJSBA website. If you don't know if you are due, Karen Skay is really good at keeping track of that in the board office. Additionally, they've set the dates for convention 2022, and that will be October 24th through 26th. It doesn't seem as though it's going to be a hybrid experience. It looks like it's back to fully in person. I don't know, maybe they're still working that out, but we will look for more information there. Dr. Morel is not here for policy, but Mr. Sprito did.
Yeah, just quickly, I just want to share with the policy committee that I did, as you know, we had a policy audit conducted of our policy manual by Strauss Esme. They came back with some minor adjustments that had to be made to our policy manual. It was actually in pretty good shape. So I did make the minor revisions that needed to be made. I shared those with Dr. Morel and I believe with the rest of the committee members. I think I shared that email with the committee as well. We're going to be meeting sometime before June 7th because there are some new policies. We did approve one tonight and this policy that we approved tonight is related to notifying parents about when emergency drills are conducted in school. So now you may have noticed that every time there's some kind of a security drill in the school, you get an email. That's what that policy addresses. It's a new legislation that's required for us to notify parents. So that's why we approved that one tonight. It's something we're already doing. But there are some others that we need to we'll be meeting about. So I'll be reaching out, either Dr. Morel or myself, to the policy committee to set a meeting between now and June 7th. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sprito. Mr. Palouse, HEF, CPAC, and PTO.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to kind of start off by saying, a big shout out to all the PTOs, because on their Facebook pages, they don't just focus on their own school district. A lot of times they'll post things that are district-wide, that are even outside, just community events. So with that being said, I just want to mention Washington School posted something regarding turning Hawthorne red, white, and blue for Memorial Day. And there's a email address. It's hfdflags@gmail.com. If anybody wants to buy, I think they're 8x12, flags to put out on your lawn. One is $3, and you can buy 5 for $10. And again, if you just email that address, you can find out how to get those purchased. Also, Roosevelt School posted that the Lewis Bay, the second library, is going to be hosting story time from May 16th through June 10th. It's ages 2 through grades 3. The address that you can look up more information and actually register is hawthorne.bccls.org. Also, with Roosevelt School, they're still doing their ShopRite gift cards, so if anybody shops at ShopRite, it's dollar for dollar. You can reach out to them, purchase gift cards, and then a small percentage goes back to the PTOs. Jefferson School is hosting 2 give back nights. 15% goes back to Jefferson. If you go to Gulfbrook Farms for all your gardening needs, again, that's 15% back. And then in Paramus, there's a place called Duck Donuts. They're giving back 20% to Jefferson. And I think I'm just going to round my report out with HEF. HEF this Friday, I think it's too late to get involved, but HEF does have their painting board and brush event in Ramsey. And some future events that they're working on will be a fall food truck festival and possibly bringing back Vinny Mutz, the mozzarella guy. So I'll hopefully have more information on that, moving forward. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Palouse. Mr. Reicher, Curriculum and Instruction.
Sure. I did not attend the meeting, but Dr. Morrell did an excellent job of taking notes. So this is what happened at the meeting. Update on Senior Experience Internship Program. The meeting took place on April 28th with all the juniors. Staff from Bergen County Special Services met with the 11th graders last Thursday, explaining the program and the process to participate in the internship. Many students expressed an interest and took applications. Most likely, submitted applications need to be vetted by the counselors to ensure that students meet the criteria. And in previous meetings, we had spoken about, we had done this at one point within the high school. A teacher, like part of his time was doing it. So it's nice to have somebody full-time who's going to be doing it for our students. Number 2, approval of spring curriculum writing. On the May agenda, we will see the names of staff members for curriculum writing. There were in-house curriculum writing maps, which teachers have been trying to get as complete before the 2 supervisors leave the district. And again, a good thing doing year-round curriculum writing instead of just waiting for the summer. Number 3, phonics first training. K through 3 teachers have to do level 1 training, which will be a 30-hour synchronous remote session as teachers use their phonics first kits as part of the training. Teachers will be paid using the ESSER funds to complete the summer training. Dates are June 20th through the 24th, July 25th through July 29th, August 8th through 12th, and August 15th through 19th. Teachers were able to select the dates that were most convenient for them. The following school year, the training will be expanded to grades 4 through 5, and then all K through 5 teachers have been trained in this. Finally, 4th and final items, plan for ESSER funds for the 22-23 school year. Identified K through 12 teachers will be working with Nancy Schultz from Concord Math to develop the pacing guides. ESSER funds will support 5 Orton Gillingham multisensory teachers who will provide reading instructional support. There are 12 basic skills teachers, ELA/math, 5 ESSER funds, 7 local funds, elementary and middle school guidance counselors, LMS, ELA teachers to reduce the class size and continue working with West Bergen Health for the high school. And that concludes the report. Thanks again. I know she's not here, but Dr. Morrell taking really good notes on this.
And she hand wrote all of them and then typed them for you.
Yeah, well, this black and red, she's
Yeah.
she's very good. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Reicher. Public be heard. Seeing as nobody's left, we will move on. General comments and questions from the board related to the school district.
Two items to piggyback on Mr. Palusa's report. As far as the upcoming events, there's a PTO, actually no, it's a give back night at Shortways tomorrow for project graduation. That's what they're going to be holding the raffle for the AirPods and the MacBook, and they're still selling tickets for that. So also on the 21st, May 21st, there is a walk here at the high school track. It's sponsored by different organizations, including the Stigma Free Committee. The walk is at the track, and it starts at 1 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clavejo, for picking up some of the stuff that I couldn't read. Okay.
Anyone else have general comments? Go ahead,
I guess this falls under general comments.
Just go for it.
To echo some of the comments from earlier, I attended the high school musical production, and the students really did such a great job. So proud of everyone. It was awesome. Your kids, everyone, they were great.
I have, oh no, go ahead. I have a couple. Some have been said before, but what a couple people said, the musical was really great, the high school one, and I did not get to attend the middle school one, but for a long time we not necessarily fought, but tried to get just a musical in the middle school. Great to see that. And ditto on the choir. There was no choir in high school forever until about 8 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. So it's great to see them going, you know, to the county choir in their field trip. And the final comment, just because this is in my own wheelhouse too, is congratulations to all the students. Like the May 1st deadline, it's amazing. Like the schools, and again, college is not everything, and those other choices are great choices for other people. If they're not interested in going to college, it's not an end all, but the level of colleges that our kids got into is just, I'm blown away. It's amazing, the schools they got into, and congratulations to all of them. They can take a nice breath now that we're past May 1st.
Just in general, I mean, congratulations again to all the award winners, and just I think in general, just the district as a whole right now is just amazing. You know, from seeing all the activities online on social media with sporting events and how we're doing, and with the musical, and just overall, I think the sentiment out there is nothing but good vibes, and it's just great to be a part of the district right now, and seeing all the activities, you know, even just some sporting events. It's just been great to go out there and see, and whether it be in the high school level or even elementary or middle school level. So just great to see, and you know, it's finally starting to feel like some normalcy again, and that things are just getting, you know, back to a normal track, which is a good thing.
I want to echo my colleagues' sentiments. I attended the high school play. I was unable to attend the middle school play, but it was fabulous. I also want to let my fellow board members know that I just reached out to Mr. Tennis from the Chamber of Commerce. I have not heard back about the parade. I'm not sure that I do remember we sent in a paper, and I don't know if I was supposed to get something back. Anyway, I reached back out just to make sure that we're still welcome. I'm sure that we are, and I'll let you guys know our location as soon as I know for lining up. And also just to piggyback off something Mr. Sprito said earlier in his report, I religiously scour the Bears decision page. My son actually made a comment. He's like, "Mom, you've liked every one." But, you know, as I said to him, you know, we are in this business, this volunteer business, as Mr. Totaro has pointed out along the way, the campaign trail. We are volunteers. That is like the crown jewel of what we do. And as Mr. Rasher said, it's not that every child has to go to college. It's just that every child deserves the opportunity to do what they want. And I think that I speak for everyone when I really say it's amazing to see that that comes to fruition. And that page is really great for showing that. Not only does it show the school, but it shows their potential major. It's just great. For someone who's been in this a long time, it's really awesome to see that people are going to such amazing places, and that's a testament to you, Mr. Sprito, and everyone on your administrative team. And that, I mean, you know, that's just really makes everything that we do and all the long hours and the high salaries that we get paid. All worth it in the end, but it's really great to see. New business, so anything not on this agenda and not just, you know, related to, we're good? Old business, anything from a past agenda or past discussion you'd like to revisit?
Have we been able to, I know this is more under buildings and grounds, but has the conversation been resurrected regarding consideration for solar?
No, we haven't. I mean, we haven't, no. There's been no discussion about that for a long time, but that's something, we had talked about that many years ago prior to the roofs being completed.
Yes.
And that's why we kind of tabled it, because we said we have to wait for the roofs.
Obviously, it makes most sense to wait until after the roofs are done.
100%.
Now that they are, I just think that that's an area that we can look both from a environmental standpoint and just doing something beneficial as a district, and also what benefits that could have to the district as a whole from a revenue standpoint, right? And reducing our overall costs for energy consumption.
Okay. Yeah, we can absolutely revisit that in B&G.
Abby, I just have one comment.
Sure.
This is old business you just mentioned 2 minutes ago. But with the, you know, in terms of the students, a long time ago when I was part of the Ed Foundation here, there were buckets, it might be electronic now, but I was amazed at the number of schools the students get into. Sometimes because of cost and other factors,
Sure.
they don't go there. But I know it was a push of ours that just to have it on a sheet of paper at one point, all the schools they got accepted to, for it now to be on Instagram and have its own thing, like, we're publicizing terrific things that they're doing, and a lot of people know, and I think, like your son said, as you go through them,
Yeah.
you have to be impressed. There's nothing like else to say that it leaves you speechless in a good way of like how far the district has come. And again, not that college is an end all, there's, you know, a plumber walks in my house and it's not so cheap. Like, there are other professions which are terrific, but really the colleges and the level that the students are getting into is terrific.
We did talk about that. We brought up it was the high school graduation program that they used to print on where children were going, and then we had brought it up to print where they had gotten accepted to, because that sometimes is two different lists.
Correct.
And we talked about it in committee, and Dr. Trebona had brought up that she thought it was on like that, what's that at a glance page called, that colleges see, that like, there is almost a flyer that goes out to colleges, and she thought it was printed on there, but I do believe that it is important PR information, because we are in the business of PR up here, we know that. And maybe in committee we can talk more about where we can publicize, because that decisions page is only where they've committed to.
Right.
So, you know, someone may have all gotten into Yale, but committed to Rutgers. So, yeah, I agree with you.
But I do
that's an
think the
important
best thing,
piece.
I mean, we're all on our phones all the time.
Yeah.
Put it in social media and put it right in front of people
Yeah.
at this point, I think is.
The guidance department
great.
has their own social media
Well,
page as well.
they run theirs decisions page, that's all through the guidance department, so
Great.
kudos to them for putting that
Yeah.
together. They work real hard to, you know, celebrate the students for where they've selected, regardless of where it is, military,
Yeah.
trade schools, whatever. You know, I think that's
Well
important.
said.
The only thing I'll just add about the hockey co-op, I'm supposed to hear, I was told that we're going to be getting our formal approval this week. And once that's done, the athletic director, the coach, and the captains from the Lakeland hockey team are going to host a parent night here in Hawthorne for any parents who are interested, middle school or high school parents who are interested, students and parents, obviously. They're going to come to Hawthorne to try to do a little recruiting. So I just want to let you know that I'm waiting that final approval, but I was told it's coming this week, possibly tomorrow. And then once that happens, there'll be more information about parent night for people who are interested. All right?
Mr. Spree, I would just ask that we publicize that parent. I know it's difficult to get to people outside the Hawthorne Public Schools community, but in the event that someone is somewhere else and would like to come back to Hawthorne High School, now that hockey is an option, do we have an avenue to get information outside of it? You know what I'm saying? Like if they're no longer a registered Hawthorne Public Schools student, where could we, I mean, we can certainly put it on Facebook. Like,
Community
we can
page.
put it on the community page.
Yeah, we don't have like contact information.
Yeah.
We only have for our own students, I guess.
So we'll make sure we get that onto the page, so that people can see in case, you know, that was an
We'll post it obviously on
opportunity.
our own Facebook page, but
Abby,
Yes.
maybe reach out to Tap Into.
I was just thinking the
Oh,
same
that's a
thing.
great idea.
It's a new
Okay,
very
thing.
good idea.
that's a great idea.
I will tell you, I was contacted by the Record, a gentleman from the Record, asking if it was something, he had heard about it, and I confirmed that it is true. I said, we haven't gotten final approval, but yes, it is something that we've agreed to. He asked when the board approved it, I shared that with him, so I don't know if they're gonna be running something, but I was contacted about it,
Okay.
so.
Any other old business? Do we have a private session tonight?
We do not.
Okay. There will not be a private session this evening, so motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Clavijo, second by Mr. Palouse. Roll call, please.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Ms. Erentrout?
Yes.
Mr. Palouse?
Yes.
Mr. Raisher?
Yes.
Mr. Shortway?
Yes.
Mr. Totaro?
Yes.
Mrs. Goff?
Yes. Okay, everyone, have a great night.
You too.
Thank you.